Hey everyone, welcome back. Right now we are going to implement the plan that we have talked about in the previous video. So we have talked about storing the file in the Cosmos DB and storing it in the blob container and processing it using the computer vision API to make sure that it's, if it's an image, to make sure that it's a correct image like a document or an invoice or stuff like that. So right now let's start with the first part, which is the code that's responsible to insert that attachment into the Cosmos DB. And the first thing we need to do is within our tracker.server.data is basically here we need to create a new class that's called temp attachment. I would call it temp because it's actually going to leave there only temporary until it's being used by the transaction or something else in case it's needed. After that it will be removed and it will not stay there. So we will have it like that, and then what you're going to do is, or I'm going to call it attachment. Let's call it attachment, I think. Yeah, let's rename the file like that. So let's create some of the properties, and basically the most important thing is the ID. Here we need to make it, and we need to know who uploaded this file. Uploaded by user ID. And we need the URL, string URL, the URL within the Azure blob storage. So make sure that a public date time uploading date when the user actually uploaded this file. So then we need to add the JSON property from the newtons of the JSON, just to make it compliant with the so basically here, well, this one uploading date, and then here user ID, make it like that. There we go. So it's a very little tiny file or tiny model. We're going to store this data in the database, and of course temporary only. So we have created the model. Let's go ahead right now and create the repository of this one. Just like the Cosmos wallets repository, we need to create something else called Cosmos attachments repo, etc. like that. I'm using the new file extension, and in here I will take the exact same thing that we have over here, just like this. Okay, very good. Wallets, call this one attachments. Great. So we need to copy this. We're going to create an interface, but let's get started with this one. First of all, here we are going to have, throughout our application, we will have delete attachment, add attachment, and list the attachment that haven't been used from 6 hours and before, or basically the attachment that haven't been removed, because we're going to remove an attachment when we are going to use it. I mean the attachment, the model in the database, in the temporary attachment container. So we will start first by implementing the function that's going to add an attachment. So it's a very basic function. So let's call it task add async, and we'll take an attachment just like that. Need to make sure that this one is not null. Great, and right now we need to just basically add it to the database. So get the container from the Copilot, and here we go. It has written all the code for us, which is pretty interesting. So get the container from the database name, the container name, and create that item async. Or basically we can add the container actually in here initialize it in here so we can use it straightforward, but it's okay. So right now, this is the add functionality. It's very simple. Just check for null, then get the container, and make sure to call the create item async. We need also to make sure that if the container, create item async, I think here we are missing the partitioning key. Yeah, I thought. And to basically not miss it, we need to just type the value is the attachment dot user ID, because this file is not going to have like, let's say, or we can just ignore it, because we're going to set it on the level on the database when we're going to create it, to create that item actually in the database. So as you can see here, this is all what we need actually, at least for now. So right now, let's just create the interface for this one. Basically, I can right click in here and say extract interface. Yeah, so let's call it attachments repository, like that. And the generated name here, we need to put it in the interfaces. Okay, we'll have it like that. Okay, here we go. Look at that. We have this attachment, and let's move it to the interfaces. Yeah. So right now it is in here, and if we go back to Cosmos attachments, we can, yeah, here we go. So that's it. So right now we have the functionality to add the container to the database, the attachment to the database. We need basically to make sure to create in here we need to go to our database, and I'm going to create a new container, use existing database, which is expenses tracker, and I'm going to call it attachments. And the partitioning key is uploaded by user ID. So this is uploaded by user ID. So this is the partitioning key, because this one is not going to get too huge, because we are going to remove the data continuously from it, and it will just a temp container. Partitioning key doesn't make too much sense in here. Like, we don't care about this very crucial decision. So let's hit OK. We have it in here, and that's it. So right now we can actually call this function to add. One more thing we need to do is to register this one actually. Add repositories, we need to register those. Let's click Ctrl D, and let's register the attachments Cosmos attachments repository, like that. Here we go. This is it. We are ready to go right now. So for this video, I'm going to keep it just like this simple. We have created this one. The next video, we are going to write the code that actually upload a file or upload a stream to the Azure Blob storage, and after that we are going to create the function to consolidate all this stuff into one place. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.